Hello. Hi, I'm back. My name is Caitlin Blade, if you don't know, and I made this painting. It's me. I made a portrait again. In today's video, we will be explaining the whole process, the thought process behind the piece, how I made it, and I'm even going to include some behind the scenes footage, documentation of the insane craziness that happens when you're an artist and you're painting in a room alone and you're heartbroken and you have nothing to do but paint. So yeah, it's January 10th, by the way. Happy New Year. I was putting off this recording for so long, but then I realized, who cares? It doesn't matter. The equipment or the aesthetic is not what makes the video. It's the person behind the video, the personality, the editing. I thought, what better way to just do it and relinquish the chokehold that perfection has on me and record this on the worst camera I own, which is my photo booth MacBook Pro camera. Forgot my little guy. So like I said, in this video I'll be explaining how I made this painting, including the entire, or at least most of the painting process, the meaning behind the piece, and even some behind the scenes footage that a lot of people don't get to see, only if you subscribe. Let's get into the video. The reference photo. Later in this video I'll explain the meaning behind the painting, but in general I wanted it to be a self-portrait and have my head open in some way, showing other elements that have to do with the theme. So the first thing I had to do was take a picture of myself, and I just did this on the Lens Buddy app. Sponsor me please, because I use your app all the time. As I went through, I saw this one picture that I really liked. Something in my brain was telling me like, this is really nice, and I really like the composition of it, and it just was appealing to look at, just the positioning, everything, not just because it was me. I also wanted the shadows of the face be on one side and light be on the other, so that it would be a more interesting painting. Just kind of like how my face is right now. If it was all just one value, it would be kind of boring. I finally opened the canvas and I put the picture in Procreate and cut the head off, basically making a mock-up of what it would potentially look like in the end. Just making a custom reference photo that would help me transfer that idea onto a canvas. After I haven't painted for a while, I just kind of go in freehand. I'm like, I can do this because I'm an amazing artist. I went to school, like I made all these cool paintings. Half or almost all of the paintings I've made are me using a transfer method, so I just transfer the drawing over. But one thing I was unsure about for most of the process was where to cut the head open. So every time I was looking at it, I was just wondering if this is how it's gonna actually be. My original sketch was down the middle, but I was just like, let me just go for it and like push myself to take this risk, and like if it's bad I can just paint over it and redo it. The process. I start every painting the same. The wash over it, which is mostly paint thinner versus paint. I just did a blue color for that because I knew that the painting was going to be mostly my skin tone, which is like orangey. So I was just like, well, blue, I guess. It's good to have some type of color on the canvas before you start painting in general. You don't want the color straight onto a stark white canvas. It'll look different to your eye on a stark white background versus something with some color on it. That's why I start a lot of my paintings like this. Went in with raw umber like I always do. Everyone usually asks me why I do this, and it's just what I was taught in school, but also this is the color that I use for my skin tones as like the base, kind of like the darkest dark with all my shadows. Keeps it very cohesive if you use that as your dark color. I do like the brown look. I'm just marking where I drew the portrait, basically drawing again with the paint. I'm also coloring in where I know things will be dark, so like my hair, the shadows on my face, I'm coloring those in. The beginning part of the process is all about, to me, preparing yourself to put color onto the canvas, meaning getting all those values correct, getting the proportions correct, all about freedom too, like not putting pressure on yourself to be perfect because it's literally the beginning and it might change completely, which this one did. Changed multiple times through a lot of different ugly phases. Most of the painting was an ugly phase, like it was just the beginning and then the end. In between is like war. Artists go to war every time they paint something. Just so you know. Blood, sweat, and tears went into this, okay? Every single painting. Beginning part is just like to have fun, but also prepare yourself and make sure you have it looking mostly like what you want it to look like, so that the rest of the painting process can go smoothly and you can just color and add different elements to your piece that make it look really cool. At this point, I'm still trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the composition. I'm just still unsure about this composition, like what I want it to be, if I want this to be my full head or if I want it to be cut in half like this. Whenever I don't know how to execute a painting at this beginning stage, instead of letting it riddle me with procrastination like I usually do and allowing myself to be stuck, I go into planning mode to better prepare myself for the actual painting. Put it back into Procreate, I draw all over it to have all this creative freedom to figure out exactly how I want it to be. So I made the sketch with the head open instead of through the middle, and I liked it better and I could see the vision finally. I also even asked my parents about it and acted like I was in critique in school. I've been thinking that it might look better if it was like this, not cut through the middle but on top. So my question is, which one should it be?
I love the concept of it literally being the two pieces and coming off. What do you think?
Well, the thing with that, this one is that it's not coming out of her brain.
Yeah, that's it.
It's coming out of wherever this space is, her sinuses.
So, yeah.
I don't know.
We agreed on having the head open. I painted over the top half with gesso. I then connected my face and then put the rest of the sketch on Procreate onto the canvas. Besides the beginning and the end of this piece, the whole entire process of this painting felt the same, honestly. It was just this back and forth of not getting the face right. Even the sketch didn't look right to me. I work on the face, take lots of pictures in between of me working on it, work on it again, couldn't tell if I liked it or not, took a picture to see it better again, and worked over it again. And this just reminds me of being in school and not knowing what I was doing and being super overly messy with my process. I still need to work on that a lot because I do all this preparation just for me to still not know what I'm doing. I have to kind of accept that this is how it's going to be forever, probably. I think every artist doesn't know what they're doing half the time, and that's kind of what makes it fun, you know? After I do the first initial sketch, I start in with the color. There's many different ways to do this. What I did for this specific painting is I made a rough value scale. This is not the colors of my skin, but it's like, they call it the local color, so it's just roughly what the main color inside of that part of my skin is. Mix all these colors that I kind of see in the picture, and me knowing that this is just the beginning of the painting and it's not like the final, like this is exactly how the skin is going to look. It's just more so getting some color on the canvas, like just starting the process. And also kept in mind the shadows. The values are what's going to make your painting look like a 3D object in space versus just flat color, nothing else. Also did a light wash of that, so it's mostly paint thinner. Every time I make a piece, it's all about the layering. I see a lot of videos online of people just painting. They start with the eye and then they just paint out and it's all perfect. Whenever they're finished painting that section, it's done, like it's finished. And I just can't do it. I have to work on everything at once. Sometimes I get tired of painting one thing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start with this eye. I'm not gonna paint it fully 100% perfect right then. It's just, I'm gonna paint everything on this layer exactly in the same skill level. Like, I know this is not the finished piece, it's just one layer, and it's more me trying to figure things out like a puzzle. You see me going in on the background with this orangey brown color, and that is just because it's just leftover paint on my palette and I didn't want to waste it. During the next session, I made this other value scale to a dark yellow brown color all the way to a light yellow, and then there's a dark reddish brown color all the way to a very light pinky brownish orange color. And then I also have some purples and blues in there. I'm doing the exact same thing that I said. Looking at the picture and starting with the darkest darks, seeing if it's more reddish, if it's more purple, if it's more yellow, if it's more blue, and putting that down. I'm not really mixing onto the canvas either. I'm just putting blocks of color. And having all these different value changes is really important because you have this really dark color and then all these medium dark colors all the way to the lighter colors. So when you put a dark color next to a dark to medium color, you don't really have to blend because they're right next to each other, and to the eye it looks like it's a transition from the dark to the light. That sounds good, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that easily. It is starting to take form to some degree, but I hate it. I hate this part of the process. It's so ugly to me, but I'm sharing it because it's real. It looks like a person, it looks like a human form, but I know this is not exactly how I want it to be. I went in on these objects inside of the head too, doing the exact same thing, looking up reference photos for what those objects are and making a sort of value scale, or just using some flat color, local color onto each object, keeping in mind of the shadows and the darkest darks and the lightest lights. The next thing to do was the background. At the beginning, I did start with blue, and I kind of realized I kind of do want the background to be blue. So I just did a base blue color on the background to like progress the piece a little more. So whenever I look at it, it looks more and more like what I envisioned for the final. And this is all the whole process is, like just going around and figuring things out as I go and trying to have some artistic liberties with the colors, not having it be exactly like the picture. If something in the picture is even slightly blue or slightly purple or slightly pink, red, whatever, I kind of push that color a little bit more. Even right now here, you can see on my hand there's some purple on there. If it's from reflected light, if someone's shirt is really purple or whatever, really blue, I'm gonna push that color. Instead of making it look like just my skin tone exactly, I'm gonna push these colors. Even here, my eye is not actually blue, but I kind of see like a cool tone, skin tone right there. So I'm gonna kind of put some blue in there because I see blue. Why not? I see this is more red, so I want to put some red in there. I see this is more orange and yellow. I'm gonna put some orange and yellow in there. And that creates some interesting values that aren't just like brown, white, yellow, red. that's it. I still don't know how to explain this when I'm not actively painting right now. Like, this is not a tutorial. I just want to say that. It's not a tutorial. It's just me making a cool video that I like. And showing you my personality, because I'm so amazing. As you can see, I took a lot of pictures in between when I was feeling that way about this painting and like really working hard to feel good about it. For some reason, things just weren't working out. I took a photo instead of recording a video, because at that point I was just like, forget the video. I need to lock in, be with myself instead of having something recording me. And I would only take the pictures to see it on a small screen versus like I'm close up, like literally up to my face. My face. The painting's up to my face, and it is my face. Watching this back and trying to explain what I did specifically feels like the episode of SpongeBob, and I'm so sorry. When in doubt, make a value scale. This has saved me so many times, like just taking a step back, figuring out why it's not working out. Sometimes it's the reference photo. Is it the colors? The way the shadows are working together, the values are working together. Every time I've taken a second and been like, let me slow down and like be more patient and stop rushing the process, because you're not supposed to do that, not even in life. Let me just remake the skin color and go really slow instead of, okay, like I'm ready to finish this and post it. Somehow it just came together. I was very patient, wasn't trying to overwork anything. Unfortunately, I do not have a lot of that footage. The goal for me was to just get it to a point where it looked good to me. Getting to a point where I just liked it. I was really feeling the painting. I was feeling myself. I was like, wait, something just happened. It was probably because I took the time and just was more patient with my process. The problem with feeling yourself too much is I will like it so much that I won't want to ruin it. So I'll avoid working on it for a while. I was so scared of like all the past fatalities, all the past deaths of my previous parts of the process where I hated it. I finally got to a point where I liked it, and I was like, I'm not letting you go. My Shayla. I didn't want to touch it, but I knew it wasn't finished at the same time. This has happened for almost, if not all, of my paintings since school, because it's just me alone in my room making all these decisions for this piece with no one else helping me that understands and that I trust, like a professor or a mentor. It's not that I'm not enjoying myself, but there is kind of a hesitancy to finish when you're at this point of being close to being done. Something in me is like, you're gonna overwork this, so maybe you should stop forever and start something else. The point is to just keep going no matter what. That's the only way to finish it. This has gotten to me a few times, and sometimes I will take months and even years to come back and finally finish it. There's still some neglected pieces that are years old that are just staring at me constantly, lurking and haunting me, waiting to be finished. Anyway, while this did happen this time, it wasn't too bad because I knew what was happening when it was. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna let it happen this time. I know that I'm just fearful, but the only way through is to do it. The only way to finish a painting is to finish it. So I'm not gonna sit here out of fear of ruining it, because I can always bounce back. I always do, right? Take these small steps, even if it's for 10 minutes a day. Just do something. Eventually you'll surpass that barrier that's stopping you from finishing something. Making the vlogs too helped a lot, like just venting to a camera, journaling, venting somewhere, expressing myself somewhere else with words. At this point where it's almost done, but I can't tell where it's unfinished. It's already been 30 minutes now, and I've just been like, so what I'm gonna do to help myself is I see this little part right here that's unfinished. I'm just gonna do it real quick, just to do something. Even if it's for 10 minutes, I need to paint. Also, the power that going through a breakup gives you is unmatched, honestly. Like being single, freshly single, and making something from it, like from your pain, it helped me through this painting. The concept. This oil painting is titled I'm Just Like You, and it's on a 24 by 28 canvas. December 2023 and January 2024, I was going through a breakup, going through a friend breakup too. So 2 breakups.
Yeah, double homicide.
Kind of even 3. A little bit. I'm just losing people in my life, right? This painting is just a child birthed from that pain and trauma. When I go through life stuff like this, especially heartbreak, I turn to art and expressing myself, and that's how I know I'm meant to be an artist. I just have to make something. Running to art is a big deal to me, and that's why this piece is a big deal to me. I saw this video that said you should try doodling right when you wake up, because I'm a very anxious person. I'm always looking for new ways to make a morning routine and night routine, because I wake up really anxious and go to sleep really anxious sometimes. Especially when going through something like this, I push myself into self-discovery and self-love and self-love journeys, and just, I'm not gonna let it get to me like that. It's already getting to me real bad, but I can't let it break me. Yeah, I saw this video that said you should try doodling right when you wake up versus going on your phone, especially as a creative person, like just doodle. So I tried it out one day. It's in my art journal. It says January 11th, 2024. I was still like, you know, in my relationship, but halfway not. Originally it starts with the octopus because that's just my thing. It's what I know. At this time, a lot of stuff was going in my head, just like spiraling, overanalyzing people's behavior, just a lot of self-doubt, because when people in your life that you thought were really close to you and were gonna do anything for you don't do that, they go behind your back and are mean to you behind your back, and you find out. A lot of people just don't like to talk about their feelings and be real. It causes a lot of hurt when you thought it was one thing, thought you were good, thought you were being a good friend, to find out that your friend or significant other thinks otherwise, and you're just now finding out, when if you had found out before, you probably could have mended it and everything would be fine right now. But anyway, during this time, like, people were leaving me and kind of judging me negatively and blaming me for things not working out because I don't have all my stuff together. As a human being, you don't have all your stuff together. A lot of stuff comes with people. It's not just love and light and rainbows and unicorns. It's everything that has created you to be the person you are today. In any relationship, friendship, romantic relationship, every human just comes with bad stuff. Poo. Like, just the bad stuff that you don't want to talk about. The ugliness of being a human being, making mistakes, having trauma, the flaws. When you start getting close to people, it starts to come out. And when people are just like uncomfortable with facing that stuff, when they're uncomfortable with other people affecting their stuff, their poo, they tend to want to leave. They want to not face the hardships that comes with having a meaningful relationship, platonic and romantic, and they rather just have it be the other person's fault. As a person that's in therapy, as someone who's actively working on themselves every single second of their life, all about self-improvement, all about being a better person for themselves, all about not putting that on other people to figure out for them, all about being self-aware and emotionally aware, I don't like that people still find a way to blame anyone but themselves. I'm thinking about how these people left me and they think I'm not a good friend, I'm not a good person, I'm not a good girlfriend because I reacted in a negative way. I got triggered because I did something they didn't like. They blame me for being the reason things go left instead of just trying to figure it out with me and having compassion for what I have going on. I felt all those feelings on this day, and I drew this head, and the head is open, and inside of the head is all these symbols for the fun in your life, the fun parts of you that people love, like the compassion you have for people, the kindness that you share, the way you make art, just all the good stuff about you that makes up your personality, and all the bad stuff too. The darkness, the stuff that your parents yelled at you for, the stuff that triggers you because of how you grew up, people breaking your heart, all the stuff that still makes up you. It's just negative and ugly. Everything in there, because it's not just beautiful and sunshine and rainbows and the good parts about me that matter. It's also the bad parts. So I wrote, I promise I'm just like you. I was like, I have to throw all this pain into this painting. That's why it's called painting. This piece is about the idea that we are all the same. We all have a past. We all have the hobbies, the memories, the people that makes us who we are today. I felt like I shouldn't be judged for that or left behind for that. If I accept and have compassion for your flaws, why can't you accept mine? That's kind of where my head was at. Get it? While I think people should take accountability for their negative actions that have an impact on people and relationships, I feel like you take accountability when you know you've done something wrong. If I don't know I've done something wrong, how do you expect me to take accountability? You can't expect people to be just like you and have the same boundaries as you and do what you would do in a situation, but you can expect people to have flaws that cause them to make mistakes, to do things that wouldn't be like you. Like, obviously I'd rather be perfect. I'd rather not have mental illness, you know? Rather not have anxiety, and rather not have insecurities, and I'd rather not get angry ever, or get sad ever, or be too much. I'd rather not. I wish I was just perfect for everyone, but I'm not, and that's the tea. I can't expect people to be perfect. I'm just like you. I have flaws. I have things that are messed up about me. And if you're willing to be a close person in my life, then that's what comes with me. And I'm expecting that's what comes with you too. I expect for people to have poo. Unfortunately, people are on their own paths, and just like I'm saying, I accept that these people have left and that is a negative part about them. I accept it. It's okay. It's okay because that's your poo that you got to deal with, and no one can do it for you, you know? I have to accept it. It's okay to me. It wasn't. I made a whole painting about it, but things will be all right. And this painting is just a reflection of the feelings I felt during that time. It's me healing from that. It's me making a statement that hopefully one day these people will understand, but it's out of my hands. I'm crying right now because I was just reminded of like the pain I felt when my friends left. My whole life I've like constantly searched for people to see me and see how much I do for them and how much I care about them. And it's like no matter what I do or how nice I am or like how much I show that I love them or how much I change, they still just are hurtful and leave or view me as the problem. It really feels like I'm the problem. Like there's something I'm doing that people don't want to be around, and I don't know what it is because I really feel like I'm not doing anything wrong, but people continuously leave me and hurt me, and I feel like I'm really kind. I'm human just like everyone else. The same thing just keeps happening. It's a pattern. So it makes me feel like, oh, I need to look into myself, like something I'm doing wrong. It can't be everyone that I meet is just the wrong, right? And I've been trying to come back to myself and painting more. And that's what I'm about to do. I'm talking this out so that I can feel all this stuff and then channel it into my artwork because it is relating to this theme of like, I'm just like you. Like, I have trauma and I have issues and I have flaws, but I'm not gonna like leave you in the dust. This piece is just to show that I have the quirks about myself. I have the things that make up who I am, just like you, and I'm aware of it. A lot of people are not aware of what they have going on, the issues they have. I want to learn about myself in a deep way, and I'm not afraid of that. I'm just like you, and I deserve space, and I deserve companionship and love, regardless of where I'm at currently. You had me at a place where I would care for you more than myself. And that person isn't here anymore. At this point, I'm really starting to like the painting and it's almost done. I was painting almost every day, forcing myself to finish it because nothing was going to stop me, okay? Nothing was going to stop me. Not even myself. Not even this brain of mine that loves to stop me. I did the background roughly. I don't know if I like it yet. I need a day to reassess. But yeah, I didn't ruin it though. I don't think. My fear was that I would ruin it. It's almost done, bro. Like probably like, I hate guessing how many sessions it will take because I'll always be like, it's 2 or 3 sessions. And then it takes me 3 months. I think I started a little bit before 3 p.m. It's been 6 hours. And I have not left this room. Congrats to me for being back, but also it has stopped me from eating. The things that I was worried about at this point, at the later parts of the process, was overworking it. Because I do tend to overwork things. Something I'm working on is having some parts of the painting look finished, like super done, and other parts look more messy, more unfinished. Because it adds to the visual effect where the more finished things are the focal point of the piece, and you have some more sketchy looking things that fall back to the background. For the last couple weeks or days that I was working on it, pretty much everything was done. The background was done, the objects in my head were done. What I disliked about the painting was my face, and it's not because it didn't look like me either, because like I said, it didn't have to look exactly like the picture, it just has to look good, and to me it did not look good. There's something about the eyes that look like doll eyes for almost all of the process of this. No thoughts behind those eyes, just alien life form or doll. And I did not like that. Every day I worked on this painting, I would just be like, okay, this kind of looks good to me. And then I would change something small to continue, and then I would look at it again and would hate it again and be like, why would I do that? I suck as an artist. I'm terrible. I don't even know why I went to art school, because I didn't learn anything apparently. How will I ever get it back to where it was and where I liked it? And I'm working backward instead of forward to finish it. I feel like there's a metaphor for life in there somewhere, but I'll have you figure that out for me. Some aspects of the face, the eyes that I really liked, that looked like me, that looked like a person, a human. I wish that some of that was still in there. I wish I could have figured out why I like that more. And I think that's what I was doing at the end of this. I was like trying to figure out why that looked so good to me before and why it's different now. At some point I just had to be done. And finally, after all that work, I signed it, danced around my room in joy. Finally, I'm free from the shackles of this painting. I can let it go. It looks just how I want it to. Except no, it didn't. It wasn't done, actually. And I knew that. I had a feeling. Like, even when I signed it, I'm like, I don't think this is done. I just need a couple days. And I think that's good, to take a couple days to just look at something else. Look at different media, take a break, come back into the room with fresh eyes, figure out if this is what you want it to be. Still signed it anyway because I knew it was mostly done. Like, look at it. It was mostly done. But something with the eyes was still pissing me off. I knew not to post right away because I had a feeling like it was going to bother me if I posted more than normal. What I changed was the eyes. And I remember sitting there, I didn't record. I didn't take that many pictures. I just sat in there and was like, I gotta figure this out. I had that dance break. I signed it. That was the day it was finished. But this is just the final tweaks before it's officially done. So I went and finished it. It took more pictures, and these pictures are so beautiful to me. I think it was the break I was needing, the couple days in between. Having that feeling that it's finished and being like, wow, thank you, I'm finally done. And then having days to not look at it and then coming back with fresh eyes, like, this painting is finished. Like, I'm good. Like, I like it, but I just need to tweak this a little bit. Like, there was no pressure. I needed that. It's not a painting that really went viral. Like, my last video like this, that painting, it didn't go viral or anything. And I had to stop myself from thinking that I wanted that, because I didn't. I wanted to finish this painting and post it, and that's what I did, and I'm really proud of it. Looking back on it, I can appreciate that I didn't know what I was doing, and I was learning and pushing myself, but during it was actual torture. Like, actual torture. The whole time I'm just like so angry at myself. It's literally my face. Like, why am I having so much trouble? It was just a war. The war of painting. It's real. Looking back on it, I'm like, it was worth it. Worth it. Can't do anything about it. And it makes you appreciate the painting so much more, because you know how much work was put into it, how much stress was put into it, and how much you learned from it. And my problem is not doing that enough. Practicing just being okay with sitting in the war, in the process, and being like, this is what it is. It's terrible, but it's fun because it's so terrible. Because you're learning so much, you're doing things that you never thought you could do or would do. You're changing things about your process, and you're just having this little fun party with you and your painting. You know? I don't know if that makes sense, but it does to me. This piece is just like a big symbol to trust the process, because somehow it just always works out in the end. And that's the crutch that you need to rely on when you're making art, when you're creating something, that it somehow just always works out. And it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Eventually it will be done, and then you go on to the next thing, the next war, and it's worth it. Worth it! Thank you all for enjoying this painting and watching my videos. Sorry it took so long for this to come out, but your girl be in her head, literally. And figuratively and artistically. I hope someone resonates with this. I think people will. And I feel so grateful to be sharing any aspect of my life, my artwork, on a deeper level. I look back at this piece, I'm just so proud of myself. I look back at the whole year, 2024, and I can't believe I was in that state. I have a journal recording like things that I felt sad about at the beginning of the year, and you can just see how sad I was then compared to how I am now, and just fading away, the sadness and pain fading away, because I was expressing it through my art, hanging around friends, meeting new people, letting myself cry, letting myself feel all these negative feelings. I couldn't fathom feeling better ever. This painting just makes me think about all of that, how far I've come in just a short amount of time, because of the practices that I've built for myself for when stuff like this happens. When you have these experiences, it gets so much easier to be there for yourself and love on yourself and know that you'll be okay. After it's happened so many times, so much heartbreak just in life in general, just pain in more ways than one, more ways than just an ex. 2024 taught me so much. It's the most YouTube videos I've posted in a specific time period, most followers I've ever had, most subscribers I've ever had. I just thank you. Happy New Year. Cheers to 2025. I think it'll be bigger and better, honestly. It has to be. For a lot of people, 2024 was just a year where bad things happened, but you came out of it like so strong and amazing that it was so worth it. I can't believe how much greater I can be. Like, I thought that was the limit. There's no limit. I'm gonna push my limits this year. Push it to the limit. Push it to the limit. I'm about to play that and dance around my room. Cheers to 2024. Goodbye. Let it all go. And 2025 is gonna be bigger and better paintings, bigger and better bank account, bigger and better people, bigger and better mindset, bigger and better love for yourself and others, bigger and better butt. Because I've been in the gym too, don't forget. Bigger and better creativity, bigger and better goals and experiences and life lessons. Like, let's just do it. Time is now. Okay, that's all. I'm a yapper, but this is a lot. If you have any questions about my process or my painting or just anything, like how I am, you know, what happened to how are you? My name is, you know what I'm saying? Introduce yourself, say you love me, and I love you. See you in the next one. Follow me on social media, by the way. Link in bio. I also have my Spotify in there if you want to look at it, and my Depop if you want to buy my clothes. Love ya. Bye.
Woke up looking for the broccoli. High key, keep a horn on the deck of my seat. IP, ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off at my feet. A ye nigga couldn't try me in the tri-state. Buddy pass, but I give him splash till he hydrated. Out south, know he spook town, eyes dilated. I got the money and the power, both gyrating. I feel good, get the fuck out my thighs. Look good, but she don't got no ties. I walked in, walked out with the size. Man, don't let me know what the pie. What the fuck? I got hits, I got bucks, I got new paper cuts, I got friends, I got foes, but they all sitting.
Okay, so what? So what? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't plan this video, so I'm not even gonna say that. What am I saying? I don't know. What am I saying? Do you know? It mixes with the oil and creates this extra layer of a new paint layer. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, it's called glazing. I'm glazing. Okay. It's called glazing, unfortunately. Come in. Anything you have to say about my painting? This painting right here, the one of my head.
It's mind-blowing. Get it?
Poof. Thank you.
Look good, but she don't got no ties. I walked in, walked out with the size. Man, don't let me know what the pie. Squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up.